Hi. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at some applications that involve quadratic equations. Here's our first one. It reads, the product of a whole number and 2 less than the number is 3 less than twice itself. Wow, that's quite a bit to think about. So let's start with this is, and I'm going to make some notes here. Is the same as equals. For example, you could say x equals 2, or you could say x is 2. They're the same representation. Just in a sentence, we tend to use is, and when we make our math notation, we use the equal sign. So what I'm going to do is the sentence works like an equation in that the beginning portion of the sentence, this part here, let's write that as our left-hand side of the equation, or we'll just write LS, left side of the equation. And then we've got this other piece. This will create the right side of the equation. So if we look at the sentence in a very mathematical way, we see that it's just an equation that's been encoded as a sentence. So it says we have the product of a whole number. So remember, product, this gives us this key. Right off the bat, we have a key. And the key is product means multiply. So we have a number, but we don't even know what the number is. So here we can begin to make some notes. How about we call our whole number, oh, let's do this. Our whole number here, since we don't know what it is, let's call it x. And then it says, and 2 less than the number. So for example, if the number was 10, we'll call it x, that's our x, then 2 less than is what? Well, if a number that's 2 less than 10, that's 8. Or if the number was 15, a number that's 2 less than 15 is 13. So what if the number is x? Or notice what I did is I subtracted 2. To go from the 10 to the 8, I subtracted 2. To go from the 15 to the 13, I subtracted 2. So if I want to go from x to 2 less than x, I would just, again, subtract 2. And that is the left-hand side of my equation. It's going to be x times x minus 2. And then we're going to have our equal sign. And then now, let's take a look at the right-hand side. And it says this. It says it's 3 less than twice itself. Well, if we take a look at twice itself, that just means to double a number. So if I had a number x, then I would just double it. But it says the result is 3 less than that. So this piece is 3 less than means subtract 3. And so with that, I can write the right-hand side as 2x minus 3. And now we can solve. We would distribute, so I have x squared minus 2x equals 2x minus 3. Let's subtract a 2x from both sides, minus a 2x. Should I do that? I have x squared minus 4x. This is going to equal negative 3. We're going to set this to 0. That's how we've been doing these, or solving these, I should say. And now I have x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. And you can solve this using the quadratic formula. You could complete the square, or you could, this one I think will factor. If I factor it, I would have 1 times 3 and a negative 4. Oh, look, if I used negative 1 and negative 3. So I could factor this into, x squared minus 1x minus 3x plus 3 equals 0. Factor out an x. This is an x minus 1 minus 3 times x minus, there we go, there's our greatest common factor unveiled. And so now I have x minus 1 times x minus 3 equals 0. So I set each of those to 0. So, or oops, x minus 3 equals 0. So we solve each of these, and I have x equals 1 or x equals 3. And so we actually get two solutions to the problem, and you should make a quick check. We'll just try one of them and see if it works back here in the equation that we set up. And it should, but a good quick check is always in order. So let's do that. Here's our check. We'll try the first one. That was a 1. Is that right? X is 1 or 3. So let's check. X is 1. So if I take 1 times 1 minus 2, that's going to be negative 1. And on the right-hand side, if I take 2 times 1 and I subtract 3, look at that. That worked. And then let's also check when x is 3. So then I would have 3 times 3 minus 2. That's going to be a 3. And 2 times 3 minus 3, 6 minus 3, that's 3 as well. And we did it. And that's one application of solving quadratic equations. Thanks for watching.